Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast. It is me, your host, Terrence Crystal, here to talk about everything in the media and just talk about life in general. Yes, so we are back. Um, I've watched and listened to a lot recently because I feel just like March was with all the different fucking releases. April has been just as good, if not even better, with, well, that's debatable. But I'm going to talk about three different things. I'm going to save the three different things. I've watched the new series of Fallout, finished it, loved it. I'm going to talk about that. Then I'm going to talk about Baby Reindeer, which I might talk about again when I have a guest because I feel like that show can be talked about for ages. And the same with all the other stuff. If there's anything that I want to talk about again, but with like different guests to like get their perspective, I would definitely talk about it again. I don't want to limit myself and just be like, no, I've already talked about that. So I'm not going to do that at all. And then I'm going to talk about the Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. Yes. That's going to be at the end. But, yeah, life is good at the moment. Just, slaying. Mother is mothering. I'm serving, both literally and figuratively. Because I work in a service industry restaurant. I am literally serving. But that doesn't stop me from serving. Bitch, I be serving. Bitch, these bitches don't know me, but I be serving. At the moment, because I get little like vocal tics that I like to just repeat over and over and over again. Like, for example, I used to say all the time, whenever I was confused, I would just go, I would do that stupid white cat meme where the cat is just looking at the camera and it's meowing, but it tilts its head to the side like it's asking a question. And someone dubbed it with just, huh? Huh? So I still do it to this day. If you ask anyone I know, I'll just go randomly like, huh? Huh? Even if I perfectly understood what you meant, I know exactly what you meant. I know exactly what you want me to do. I perfectly understand the question. I hear you loud and clear. I'll still just be like, huh? And I'll just be like, nah, I'm joking. I know what you mean. But just the whole like, huh? Huh? But my new one, I don't know where I got it from. I think it might have been like this old drag queen. No. This old drag queen. She's old. She's ancient. No. It's an old video an old video of this drag queen, Meatball, who I fucking love. I love Meatball. I think she's so funny. And I think she just screams, "Diva! Diva!" And I don't know why, but just the idea of being so plain and nonchalant, just like picking up a pencil off a ground and someone just being like, "Diva! Diva!" It tickles me pink. Oh my god. I find it hysterical. It is so goddamn fucking funny to me. So, for the past week or so, I've just been like, diva, 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 diva. Just like, because I find the humor nowadays is this like unironic ironicness covered with like self-seriousness. So, I don't know. A lot of the stuff I watch and a lot of the stuff I find really funny is just these like out of left field comments like like that are not serious, but it is serious. Like if you go to me, oh yeah, so I was in this show last week. I did it for a couple of runs. It was in like it could be anything. It could be West End. It could be anything, and I'll just be like, Diva, work. You are slaying the game. I am so serious. I am so happy for you. I would lay my life down on the ground for you. And then it goes from that just being like, oh yeah, today then I just like got a piece of toast, and I'll just be like, oh, and you didn't fucking invite me? Why wasn't I there having your piece of toast with you? I thought we were friends. I thought you understood me like that. Wow. Oh, wow. The claws are coming out now. and I'll just be like, I'll be so serious about these dumbass things that like sometimes I'll just be talking to people and they'll just be like, oh yeah, when I saw this guy and I was just like, oh, and why wasn't I invited? What? Why are you laughing? What? I don't really see what's funny about this. Like, I was free. Like, just these absolute wild takes. And yeah. But then the other side of me, the other wolf, there are two wolves inside of me. One is mother and one is serving cunt. No, one is like, why would you do that? Why are you not inviting me? Then the other side, the other wolf in me is just like, Diva, you are working. You are so slay. I love and support you, and I will give you everything to uplift you. Yeah, so that is my comedy of the week. Comedy of the week. That's stupid. Just me saying a meme or a joke. Which actually, in fairness, there's a meme that's going around on Twitter that actually has really impacted me, and it's one of now my favorite memes of all time. It's Foghorn Leghorn from the Looney Tunes, the giant Southern American chicken. Now, if you don't know Looney Tunes, this giant chicken just doesn't shut the fuck up, and it's just like in the show, the Foghorn Leghorn would just be like, well, now I see, boy. Now, what you got to understand here is that you got to do. He just doesn't, and it's a real like old school Southern accent, like Southern American accent, but they'll put Foghorn Leghorn in like these TV shows or specifically anime. Like, for example, Foghorn Leghorn talking to Zuko, who's trying to hunt the Avatar from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the text will just read, "Well, I say, boy, this is what you do in the North as well. You have not thought this through. You are drier than a piece of turkey in July." It's the thought process of reading the text in the accent and saying it out loud to yourself, which I just think it's a multifaceted meme. Like, it's not just a read one. You have to think about it. You have to do the voice. You have to understand the context of like both the TV show and that. But even if you don't, it's still wild that this random ass cartoon chicken is talking about Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z. I love it. I love it. I love it to goddamn death. Every time I see it, like. Every time I see it, repost. And then I'll forget about it. And then 2 weeks, I'll rediscover it and I'll repeat myself again. But yes. Foghorn Leghorn meme. Look it up. 'Tis gold. Now, let's get into this episode. We are going to first talk about the TV show Fallout that has premiered on Amazon Prime. It's an Amazon Prime original, and it's based on the game of the same name. Now, when I first heard of this, I didn't know anything. I know of like the memes and some of the lore of Fallout because I wasn't much of a gamer as a kid. I only like played the Batman games, Portal, a lot of Nintendo. What else did I play? I'm trying to think. A lot of the like straight to these like movie adaptations of like these video game adaptations of movies that were playing at the same time. Do you remember that period where a film would come out, and like an animated film, it would mostly happen with. Like if Ice Age 2 came out, there would be a game that would come out 3 weeks later after the movie released. And they weren't great games, but they were just fun. Some of them are good. But I played some of that. Oh, I played BioShock a lot. I actually love BioShock. And people might disagree with me on this, but I feel like just from seeing the clips online of the video game and playing BioShock Infinite, there are some similarities. Like it's a dystopian world affected by war or by this apocalyptic event. So I didn't really know much about Fallout. All I knew was that I knew the famous line, "War never changes," because I just knew it because it was that famous. But I didn't know. I never played any of the games. Don't know any of the games. But then I heard that this came out, and people were like, "This is amazing." People were comparing it to like The Last of Us, Arcane, like level of this shit is good. This shit is really good. And I was just like, "Oh my god, really?" Like I saw people on Twitter comparing it and saying, I even knew some people who were saying it was better than The Last of Us. And I was just like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my god." But yeah, Fallout, it's based on a video game of the same name. And what I liked, it's basically what has happened is that America has been nuked. Like a nuclear explosion has gone off, and this is the remnants of the society that is America mainly. And we focus on three characters: Maximus, Lucy, and the Ghoul. Which is, I thought it was a really good way of handling it, because I don't know, I like the number 3. I think 3 is a good number to deal with, and if you set it up right, you can really give enough time for each of the 3 protagonists. You start with Lucy, and she is part of this society of people who have been chosen to go into a vault underground, a nuclear bunker, to survive and to one day repopulate the earth with their idea of what life is, whatever. Very cult-like. But it's not very cult-like, but it's very happy-go-lucky. Like, they don't swear. They hate violence. They're they're even not very sexually engaging with each other. They're very, very Christian, like that. And then all of a sudden they get invaded by raiders, who kill half of their group. And her father, Lucy's father, gets kidnapped, so she has to go into the above world to try and find him. And that's Lucy's story. I'm gonna spoil this kind of semi-spoil it, so if you don't want to listen to it, then just click off. But you probably knew clicking into it that I was going to spoil it anyway, so lol. But it starts there, and then excuse me. And then we see Maximus. Now, in the series, Maximus is part of this Brotherhood of Knights. Now, these knights are a different group or cult that's been discovered since the explosion of the nuclear bomb. They're these soldiers who believe that they will take over the world, and these knights, especially the Grand Knights, have these giant metal armor suits that make them indestructible, that they can one of them is worth 100 men. Like, they can bulldoze through anything. Like, they are just bam, 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 plowing. They can absolutely destroy it. And it's this grand facade of this. This is a true cult. They're very religious. They're our monks, and they train squires to help the knights and all that stuff. And they're just if you help your knight, you will become one of the greatest things. You are part of the brotherhood, blah, 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 blah. But then as the show goes on, you kind of realize that it's actually quite corrupt. But Maximus is there, and what's really interesting about Maximus is that he's I don't know how to describe it. I didn't really like his character. I don't know why I'm divulging, but the character of Maximus, out of the three of them, I didn't like him the most. I thought his character was a bit weird. I thought that, you really didn't get to like see his life. You just saw his life through one perspective, which that he like lived in this area, then this area was bombed, and then he survived, and he saw the knights like saving him from this bomb attack. So he becomes transfixed with the idea of the knights. So then he goes off to train, and he now that I'm thinking about it, it's because then he becomes a squire because one of his friends was going to be a squire. Then he got really jealous, and then his friend like gets a razor blade in their foot, and everyone thinks it's the guy who did it. It's Maximus who did it, but you think he did it. But then the Brotherhood are just like, I like your moxie. You were able to really you knew what to do for yourself in that situation. So, we kind of respect that. You're going to be a squire now. So, then he gets it. And then he does his usual squire duties. But then it come to find out that, these knights aren't shit and that they're actually a bunch of jackasses who, think that they're untouchable because they're in the suits. So they're just power-hungry maniacs. And then one of his knights gets injured and all that stuff, and then he takes over, but then he himself becomes one of those power drunk maniacs. And I don't know, I guess you see his kind of redemption through him getting a new squire and then learning to not be a dick. But then also, yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know. I was a bit just on his character, and I was just I don't know how I feel about you. Yeah. That's Maximus. And then you have the Ghoul, and the Ghoul is this old Western star who, before the nuclear bomb actually went off, so in this time, there's how do I describe it? There's so much wrong with the world that everyone's freaking out that the bomb can go off at any moment. But in order to distract themselves, the really rich are just having these parties. They're like, oh, well, you know what? If the bomb is going to go off, then you might as well buy these nuclear blue suits that'll protect you, or come join us in this thing. And the Ghoul is the mascot for this. And the bomb goes off, and then in this world, if you become a Ghoul, you basically become a zombie. You slowly transform into this zombie flesh-eating creature that really can't die unless it can take a lot unless you blow its head, classic zombie rules. So he becomes that, and it's really cool seeing his character arc because what happens to him is very fascinating. This show, it knows 100% what it is. It knows that it's a comedy. Maybe not first and foremost. Maybe that it's an action comedy. It knows that this is going to be violent because it's based on a very violent game. So they were just okay, this is going to be violent. We're going to give them violence. Which, my only discredit to the Last of Us TV series was that I don't think it was violent enough compared to the actual game. We did get bits and bobs here and there, but the story was so strong for Last of Us, I didn't really mind in the TV series that we didn't get a lot of it. But in this Fallout series, it's full action-packed, bloody, like great fight choreography sequences. The world building is excellent. You really are like, they establish what has happened, who are these factions, these like, you are, it's interesting because you are discovering this world just as Lucy is, because Lucy was born in the vaults and only knows the vaults. So when she goes up to the surface world, she's discovering for the first time as well, and you're following her journey as well, which is fab. I love that. The acting is great. Yeah, the acting yeah, the acting is just like superb. Like with each character, they're really fully realized. And even Maximus, who I don't really like, he does like, his character is just consistent throughout, and he's very real in a sense. Like there's a bit where he and Lucy go to another vault, and he's a bit tentative at the start because he doesn't know what's going on, but then as soon as like the luxury items come in, he's like, he's loving it. He loves it, and he really enjoys it, and he's living the lap of luxury, and he kind of like gets into it, but then he kind of realizes it, and then it's all very interesting, and it really subverts your expectations of what's going to happen. Like it kind of takes the tropes of some action movies and TV, and it kind of is just like, there's a bit where you discover that the vault that they're in, they're like this the new vault, that they're part of this weird fucking cult of this flame bringer, and they're like, we have to leave, and the cult discover this, and instead of like being like, you're gonna die, and then them having a big battle to like fight to get out of there, the cult people are just like, you know what, get out. Like, we don't want you here, girl. We don't want you here. And actually, we're going to give you, because we're so nice, we're going to give you supplies to leave in order to survive. And it's just like, thank you. You guys are weird, but that's nice. But then Maximus, who thinks that all shit is going loose, he gets back into his suit and is about to like blow the place up and like throws a few people, and Lucy's just like, no, it's fine, it's fixed, there's no drama here. And Maximus is just like, okay, thank you. Yeah, and it's just so good, and the script is so good. It is perfectly paced. It spoon feeds you with the lore of the world, but it doesn't like smack you in the face with it. It respects you as an audience to like put two and two together. It doesn't like this is the thing, you all are too stupid. It like, it shows you like, here's A, B, and C, and then you're like, oh, okay, oh, because A is connected to C, that's why B is here, and then we can get D at the end, and then okay. It presents it to its audiences, and then some of it confirms in the series, and then some of it leaves it up to the audience, but it's like low-key like, yes, you're right. Yeah, and the visual effects are amazing. The ultimate conclusion of the season is really good. Like, you know, I don't know if this is like really a downfall for any TV series, because it's not their fault, but when a TV series has a first season, like not a limited series, not a series that's only going to have one season, that a series that you know is going to have multiple seasons because there's too much material to just do one season. So my pet, well, it's not, I guess it's not the fault of the creatives. So if you do a first season of a show, and if in that first season, if you are able to tell arcs of characters and finish those arcs in the first season, but still leave a bit at the end of season 2 to like oh, this if we get really popular, this is what we're going to do in season 2. But it's the knowing if you're going to get in season 2. Because if you do your show, like if this series didn't do half the stuff they did because they were going to save it for season 2 and then they didn't get a season 2, then that would be tragic. That would be so bad. So this series, it completes all of its story arcs that happen in season 1 while also leaving a bit at the end to get you excited for season 2. And I love that. Fallout is brilliant. 10 out of 10. My experience watching this, it just made me laugh. It made me it just made me excited for new stuff, and especially video game adaptations. Because I feel like we're in a renaissance at the moment with video game adaptations, with Arcane, The Last of Us, and now this. I'm very happy for the future of it. So yeah, Fallout on Amazon Prime. 8 episodes? 8 episodes? 8 episodes. Yes, 8 episodes. Give it a watch. Now, next up, I want to talk about Baby Reindeer. Now, I'm not going to talk about much of it because now that I think about it, I actually want to get one of my friends here who has seen it and talk about it for just ages. But so I'm going to talk about it. Just give my thoughts. First off, I loved it. End of video. I loved it. Yep, good. Okay, next. No, I'm joking. So Baby Reindeer is a series on Netflix. It's a limited series. And I haven't really seen... What was the last, big hit? Oh, no, Squid Game. Duh. So I genuinely haven't seen this much commotion, this much word of mouth for a series, for a Netflix show since Squid Game. Now, I know Squid Game was another level worldwide, but I don't know. I just everyone is talking about Baby Reindeer. Everyone is talking about it. So Baby Reindeer is this kind of dark comedy, I don't want to say dark comedy because it's more of a dark dramedy. The foundation of it is comedic, but it has facets of very, very mature, explicit, and hard to watch themes. It's about this comedian living in London, and he gives a woman who's in his bar that he's working at a free cup of tea, and now he has a stalker. I'll try not to spoil it, but I will spoil some bits. It's such an interesting show because never have I seen a show where the protagonist makes the wrong decision at every single moment in this TV show. He never makes the right choice, and even when he does go to make the right choice, he does it the wrong way. It is a very, very, gray area TV show. There are no, true villains, and there are no true heroes. You think in this TV show that the obvious thing to do would be to make just the woman stalker the main villain of it and just yip-de-doo, get on with that. But this series, it blends perfectly that they're both as bad as each other. Her for stalking him, for sexually assaulting him, and for doing this stuff. It's bad what she does. She does bad. But then you see a side of her and you almost feel guilty for her. And you also feel bad for her. And you even kind of like her because she's a very charming person. But it's never black and white. It's very gray. And then you have the guy who, if this were me, and, obviously everyone is different and everyone's reactions to different things is different. But if this woman is really bothering me and I don't really do anything about it, but then I actually look her up and I find out that she has a police record and that she's been arrested and was like almost in jail, as soon as I find that out, immediate restraining order, reporting to the police. Here's all the evidence. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. We're done. This is over. But in the TV series, it brilliantly showcases how desperate someone could be, because maybe not desperate, just that he knew that she was dangerous, but the way that she would laugh at his jokes and make him feel, because he was such a failing comedian, the way that she made him feel made him just kind of ignore that and kind of go on with it. And like, you're trying to be supportive of him and being like, yes, do this, get rid of her and all that stuff. But you're like, also, oh my God, dude, like, this is your fault you're here. This is all, it's almost his fault. And there's a bit in the TV series where they, like, he brings it to the police and all that stuff, and they go back and forth. And from his phone, one of his shitty mates accidentally texts Martha, the stalker, that she wants to fuck him in the ass, or that he wants to fuck her in the ass, or whatever. And then Martha cleverly shows the police this text, and it's just like, well, he's been sending me very sexually aggressive text messages, and he's just like, no. But then the police are just like, well, we have to take her side and your side. So at the moment, you two are like an even playing field. And it's just, when you hear they're both at an even playing field, it's like, wow. It's really interesting that, like, they're both as bad as each other, that the police are just like, yeah, this is where, like, you now have to send an apology to her. And of course, like, she manipulated it so that, like, she would look better in this. But, like, my dude, why did you give your friend your phone? Or why did you have your phone out? And, like, oh, why did you let them? Oh, it's a really interesting look at toxic masculinity, because there's he dates a trans woman, and it's really interesting seeing how he views the world watching him for dating this woman. And he's like, it's like anxiety inducing. He feels shame for this and that, but it's all him. It's never on the trans woman. The trans woman is just like, I'm living my best life. I'm happy. You're the one who is concerned about other people giving a fuck. And it's just really, it's really interesting to see that, because it's a bad thing and you get it, but at the same time, it's all him. It's all him. But then also he, like, you understand, because he was traumatized by a severe traumatic event, which is why he does the things he does the thing he does. And then the same could be said for Martha. Martha went through a traumatic event, and that's why she does what she does. It's a very human story that is a very hard watch. It's a very, very hard watch, but it's a very good watch, and it's a very needed and necessary watch. Like, when I was watching this, the last time I was this physical watching a show, like, there were some scenes where I actually had to physically walk or physically shout at the screen, like, no, what are you doing? Like, or physically, like, walk out of the room. I haven't been like that since, honestly, the last season or the last 2 seasons of Breaking Bad. Specifically, like, the Gus wheelchair bomb episode. Like, I remember actually standing up when that happened, and this show caused me to stand up. And I think that's a real good indication that something, whether you like it or not, it has impacted you. Like, it has had an emotional. You've had an emotional reaction to a piece of media or art, which is what all art and media should do. But I really liked it. I thought it was brilliantly directed, brilliantly written. The acting is phenomenal. And yeah, I think it's just I think I'm definitely gonna, when I have someone back on the podcast, I'm definitely gonna talk more about it. I really want to I really just want to go in depth about it. But yeah, Baby Reindeer, 10 out of 10. My experience watching it was a visceral, physical, like rah, watching it. Like I was so glued, yet I didn't want to watch, but I was so invested. But yet, no, I can't watch this. Oh, so good. Now, here we go. We are going to be talking about The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor motherfucking Swift. Alrighty, now, first thoughts. Now, obviously, she really got us with the double album surprise. Instead of 15 songs, which is good for a Taylor Swift album, we got 31 songs. And the more I think about it, it still was very surprising that she released basically another album, that this is 2 albums in one. But I'm not actually as surprised because in Midnight, it had like the Till Dawn 3 a.m. version. I can't remember exactly what it was called. All together with the original Midnight's release was, I think, like 24 songs? I'm going to double check that now. Okay. Taylor Swift, fearless, speak now, red. 1989, Reputation, Lover, Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, The Tortured Poets Department. Yes. And even, now obviously I know this was a re-record, but wait, what the fuck am I doing? Meow, 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 meow. There it is. Okay, so the Till Dawn version of Midnights had 23 songs. 23 songs on them. So, yeah, when I heard that I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe 31 songs. Wow, holy fuck. Holy fucking shit. 31 songs? What the fuck? But also, yeah, that's Taylor Swift. Of course she has 31 songs for this album. But, yeah, so initial first listen. So this is definitely the sister album to Midnights. Yes. I think like what Evermore was to Folklore, and she talks about how those 2 albums are sisters, and yeah, those 2 are connected. This album and Midnights are definitely connected. If I were to compare it to other eras, the Tortured Poets Department, I would say a lot like Folklore lyrically, and maybe sonically, some of the stuff is a bit like Reputation. I can see a couple of similarities, but no, this is the sister to Midnights. This is the sister to Midnights, and like Midnights, because when I talked about Midnights before with my friend Veronica, I said to her that I first listened to Midnights, I didn't like it. I didn't understand why people were freaking the fuck out about it. I was like, okay, some of the songs are a bit boring. Like some of the production's not as crazy, or like as there's some of them are a bit boring, like, you know. But then I listened to it a full time, a second and third time, and I got it. It's one of those albums where you upon your second or third listen, you start to get it. And I love Midnights. Midnights, I think, honestly, Midnights is one of my favorite Taylor Swift album. I think, oh, what are my favorite Taylor Swift albums? I think I've said this before. Lover is definitely one of my favorites. It's like, I love Lover. I think I truly love that album so much. A close, I think a second would be either Folklore or maybe even Evermore. I really loved some of the songs on Evermore, but Folklore's also good. Or even 1989. I think I'm going to say 1989 just because of how iconic that album is and how many hits she had from that album. And then third is Midnights. I love Midnights. I think if you like, for all of these people who have been in the industry or in the music game for a long time, been releasing multiple albums, if you can get to a point where you're releasing a new album and that song, one of the songs on the albums becomes one of my favorite song of that artist, then you are doing a good job. Like, one of the songs on Midnights is, I think, one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time. Yeah. It's You're on Your Own, Kid. Yeah. I think that is one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time. You're on Your Own, Kid. And yeah, the fact that she got it from Midnights, an album she released 2 years ago. Oh, her 10th album. Keep working. Love it, diva. But no, the Tortured Poets department, yes, upon first initial listen, I didn't get it. I was a bit like, okay, this is... Now, I didn't fully not get it. Like, there were a couple of songs that I was just like, oh, okay. Oh, I like this. Oh, this is great. Oh, yeah. Okay, the beat's coming in. But for a lot of it, I was just a bit like, oh, what's going on here? Why am I not liking this as much as I should? But then, like I said, on that second listen, that third listen, I really do get it. Like, let's just go down the track list. So Torch to Poets. Wow. I love it when I can't speak the language I was taught. I truly love when that happens. Tortured Poets Department. Track 1, Fortnite featuring Post Malone. When I first heard this song, I did not like it. I did not like it one bit. I thought it was boring. Now, it's one of my top 3 of the album. I love the feel sonically. I love the bridge. I love the repeated lyrics. I think it's such a... I love her kind of like neutrality of it. It's not like freaking out all of this. It's more just like, I loved you for a fortnight and now this is me here. Now I'm just numb. I love that. Oh! I loved it. And then we get to the Tortured Poets department. Yep, fun title song. The Charlie Puth line was a bit weird, but we see past that. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. Loved it. So fun. Down Bad is a bop. So Long London. This is my only one that I was a bit like, oh. So famously, in every single Taylor Swift song, her number 5 track tends to be the saddest song on the album. So, like, in Midnight, it was You're on Your Own, Kid. In Lover, it was The Archer. In Red, it was All Too Well. It's the most devastating one. Now, obviously, we know that she broke up with Joe Alwyn, who is from London, who is English. So when we see the title track, So Long London, you're like, oh, holy shit, oh my God. Bit disappointed. Not, I wasn't as enthralled by this song. This song was just okay. But I still will listen to it over and over again, but not my favorites. Fresh Out the Slammer. Yeah. Good. Florida by Florence and the Machine and Taylor Swift. So good. Now this is the song that we kind of get into like that old Reputation sound, but like mixed in with Midnight's and the lyrics. It's so just like boom, 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 bah. And then loved it. Guilty as Sin is a bop. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? This is such a visceral song. This is Taylor Swift angry. This is like wah. Oh, Love of My Life. LOML. This is a track 5 song. This song was devastating. This song is so sad. So sad. Oh, I cannot believe. And then we go from one of the saddest songs of the album to one of the most upbeat poppy songs she's ever released. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. It's like, I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday every day. It's so, but the lyrics are like, girl, you okay? Well, oh no, no. That's not the lyric of a mentally functioning woman. Oh dear. And then The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is like a fucking diss track, Taylor's version. Like, oh. The Alchemy, I don't know when she wrote this album. She obviously, well, I don't know if she worked on how like a couple of songs before Midnight's came out or like whatever happened between Midnight's being released and now. But this song is very much a love letter to Travis Kelce. Yeah, especially the bridge. Clarabelle, Clarabelle is a nice little ditty. It's like so sweet and so melancholy. This album is very mature yet immature at the same time. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that mix between the maturity and the immaturity of it. Like, yes, I'm mature about this now, but also, fuck that guy. He's a bitch. Yeah. And then we get to the Black Dog. I really like the Black Dog is one of my top 3 of this album. So it would be my top 3 of the album. Well, is I think it's honestly Fortnite, the Black Dog, and then the Manuscript. Yeah, I think those are my top 3. It'll change every day, of course, because if your top 3 of a favorite artist or favorite film or favorite whatever doesn't change every day, then like, are you really a human? Really? I'm Gonna Get You Back. Don't really remember it that well, but yeah. The Albatross, loved. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. This one I was just a bit like, okay, cool, diva. I don't really remember it that much. I was just a bit like, okay, yeah, work. How Did It End is a bop. So High School. This is where it gets like a bit immature, but like same. I love that. I Hate It Here. Yep, that's a bop as well. Very sad. Thank You, Amy. Now, it's really interesting because Thank You, Amy, and it's spelt THAN capital K YOUA capital I capital MEE. Obviously, the capital letters spell out the name Kim. Now, the whole thing with Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West back in 2016 or 2016, 2015, which caused her to release Reputation. I think it's a great track. I like the track, and I like it. But I like that it's kind of like a final thing on this matter. It's like, yes, I did this whole album, and yes, I still talk about this because it was a fucking traumatic moment in my life caused by these 2 individuals. If these 2 individuals didn't fuck everything up, didn't do this shit, I would not have been here in this situation. This is a cause and action because of what these 2 people did to me. And I think we tend to see it as like, oh, this happened, and then she just made an album. Oh, yeah. No, she went through trauma. She has had so much hate against her from the public. it was crazy. It was crazy. I remember being like, nah, that's my girl. Like, fuck y'all, that's my girl. And then um this is kind of like the final chapter of it. It's like, thank you, Amy. This is done. Now, there are going to be songs that your children are going to listen to that you and I only know, and that is your punishment. Because I'm done with this. This is the last song about this, but you have to live with what you've done. You can forgive me, but I'll never forget. So, yeah. I Look in People's Windows. Yeah, that was a good one. The Prophecy is also a very good one. And then Cassandra is a bop. Loved Peter. The Bolter is kind of creeping up there into my top 3. It's at number 4. Robin, loved it. Just a lovely, like, little ooh. And then The Manuscript. Oh, The Manuscript. Yeah, that got me. The Manuscript is very sad. And a very fitting ending for this album. So yeah, 31 songs. So I'm not like a Swiftie since like I haven't been a major Swiftie since the beginning. I remember it's the same with Beyonce. I grew up with a lot of her hits. Like I loved Single Ladies, If I Were a Boy, Halo, Formation, Run the World Girls. The same with Taylor Swift. Loved Shake It Off, Love Story, Bad Blood, Look What You Made Me Do. Loved all that stuff, but it wasn't until Beyonce released Renaissance and then Taylor Swift released A Lover that I fully became a fan. Like, I fully became a fan of both of those artists when they released those albums. Like, when Taylor Swift released Lover, I became a fan, and I was listening to every album after that, and now I'm a full Swiftie. I'm going to the concert. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to see if she puts a Tortured Poets Department section in the Eras Tour. If she does, she's fucking mental. Because, like, a 3.5-hour show with another 15-minute oh, it's crazy! But no, I really like this album comparatively to all the other albums. I mean, it's not in my top 3. But it's still a good album to listen to, and I'm going back to some of the songs, which is the mark of a good album. I think it'll have the same effect as me as Midnight's did, whereas the more time goes by, the more I'll appreciate it. So at the moment, yeah, I really loved it. I would give it a solid, like, 8 out of 10. Maybe 7 No, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10. And my experience listening to this was just honestly like kind of that melancholia and immature and maturity of like my own feelings with past relationships, but like personified through Taylor Swift's lyrics. Yeah. No. I love Taylor Swift. And I think this was another hit for her. Well, of course it's a hit. She's like the top 10 everywhere now. Like every single song from the album is going to be in the top 10. Well, no, that doesn't make sense numerically. She's going to have at least 15 songs in the top 15. But, I loved the Tortured Poets Department. Loved it. But yeah, that's I'm going to wrap it up here, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure you subscribe to my YouTube. I'm also on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon podcasts. And like and subscribe. And yeah, make sure you follow the Triple Threat Podcast. And I shall see you during another episode. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.